The book today I am going to talk about is Atomic Habits. This is a self-help book that will tell you about an easy and proven way to build good habits and to break bad ones. This book is written by James Clear. This book was originally published in the year of 2018. As per the name specifies Atomic Habits, atomic means an extremely small number of things or a single irreducible unit of a large system. Habit means a routine or a practice that is performed regularly. As this is a self-help book, I will be summarizing each and every chapter separately. All will be covered in this video. Now let's start with Arthur's story. It was the last day in the school for Arthur when he was playing a baseball game. His friend gives the bat a full swing and by chance it slipped from his hand and hit Arthur on his face between his eyes. His skull started swelling and slowly he started losing his memory. He had to go through various surgeries. After 1 week, he returned home with a broken nose and half a dozen facial structures and a bulging left eye. Baseball had always been a major part of his life. After a year later, though he was able to return to the field, he had to play with juniors in the junior team, and it is very painful as he had been playing since he was 4 years old. After a year of self-doubt, he managed to get into senior team. Author says the turning point came to his life 2 years after this accident happened to him as he joined Denison University, and there he found that now in no way he could make into the basketball team and choose it as his career. So he decided to get his life in order. He built good sleeping habits. He determined himself to keep his room tidy. These teeny improvements helped him, and after 6 years being hit by the baseball bat, he was selected as the top male athlete in the Denison University. And by the time he was graduated, he was awarded university's highest academic award and President's Medal. In this book, he had explained how these small habits had helped him and how they could help all of us to reach our zenith. Let's start. The governance body of British Cycling hires Dave Belchford as one of their new performance director. As hundreds years has been passed and not a single British cyclist was able to win a gold in Olympic. He brought in a new strategy called the aggregation of marginal gains. It says that just 1% improvement on every single thing aggregately could be a great improvement. So Dave with other coaches began making small adjustments like redesigning bike seats, making rider wear electrically heated overshirts. Outdoor racing suits were replaced by indoor ones as they seemed to be more aerodynamic. They tested different type of massage gels and chose best one for each different cyclist separately. They hired a surgeon to teach them how to wash their hands properly. They improved their beds and cushions and painted the interior of the bus so that they could locate each and every particle of dust. And such small improvements. 5 years later, in 2008 Olympics, British cyclists won 60% of the available gold medal, and in the next Olympic, they set 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. In the same year, they won the first Tour de France race. This is an example how small improvement which seems useless could impact our life. If we copy this thing in our life and we start improving any of one things just 1% every day, by the end of the year, we would be 3778% better than the day we started. If we go on decreasing or worsening 1% each day, by the end of the year, we would be at 0.
One should always focus on the system, not on the goal, as both winners and losers have same goal, but who wins has a better system than the losers. Our habits shapes our identity and vice versa. as there is a difference between saying I have quitted smoking and I am not a smoker, as the latter one has changed its identity while the former one has not yet done so. This is the reason the latter one is more likely to quit smoking totally for his entire life. In other words, the goal is not to read the book. The goal is to become reader. The goal is not to play a match, but the goal is to become a player. Any habits could be changed if we follow the simple process, that is, first change your identity, that is, change your identity to that person who you want to become. Then change the process, that is, eliminate the things that keep you tied with the habit and add those things that will help you get out of it. If you are able to execute all these steps perfectly, then you could notice its outcome. This whole book is divided into two parts: how to create good habits, how to break bad habits. These two parts is again subdivided into four parts each. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying for the first part. For the second part, make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, and make it unsatisfying. How to identify the difference between good habits and bad habits. First, make a list of all the habits you are doing. Then, your next task is to find your identity, that is, what you want to become or who you want to become. Now, for every habit in your list, ask yourself a single question. If the habit is going to make me the person I have wanted to become, if the answer comes in negative, put a minus sign beside it, and if the answer comes in positive, put a positive sign. Now you have a clear vision. All those with minus signs are bad habit and all those are meant to be replaced. Now let's talk about the book. The first part, how to make it obvious. If you want something to be obvious to you, that is, that thing should be seen to you as soon as you close your eyes. In other words, a thing is said to be obvious if you only could see it with your eyes closed. And to make thing obvious, you should start calling it loud when you did it or when you didn't do it. For an example, you have stopped smoking from today. Whenever you would smoke, you would say loudly that I am about to smoke, but I don't need to smoke. And I guarantee you, if you could do this once before smoking, you would not smoke that piece also. Another way to make things obvious is to clarify everything. That is, suppose from tomorrow I want to create a new habit of doing exercise and you make it obvious. I would have to clarify that from tomorrow I would be exercising after waking up in my kitchen from 15 minutes. And you have to say this thing loud before going to bed. You can also add one thing, that you would associate one previous existing habit with a new habit. Like I have done it with the previous example. I have added my exercise habit with the habit of waking up, though it may not be early, but after waking up, whatever the time may be, I would do exercise. This should be done with a little bit care, as you should not associate a good habit with a bad one, as we humans decide what to do next based on what we had done earlier. So, associating a good habit with a bad one may hamper the frequency of getting the bad habit done. Another way to make things obvious is to specify different places for different work. A single place cannot be used for more than one work. And here you could complain that, what if I had a short living room? Then put 3 tables, one for doing office work, other for using mobiles, and the last one for eating dinner. But you should never eat your meal on the phone table, and phone should never come to your eating table. Similarly, you should specify specific place for each and every task. Now let's know how our environment affect our habit. In fact, our environment plays a significant role in our behavioral change. Let's understand this with the example. In 1970s, some researchers found that in a colony, though every houses are of same size, some has less electric consumption and some has significant more electric consumption. After another deep research, it is found that those having their electric meter in that basement are having more electric consumptions, and those having their meter in the main hall are having less electricity consumption. They were able to say it every day. They were aware of how they are using their electricity. Hence, the way to improve LE quality is to create a more disciplined environment and adding more people to that environment who already have that quality. The second point is how to make it invisible. As earlier said, environment plays an important role in the formation of habits that can be used to destroy an habit. That can be done by changing an environment. Just for an example, think for a while, how did you got the habit of brushing your teeth just after waking up from the bed? That is because everyone in your family is doing so since your birth. And it has been 2 years you have shifted to a hostel, and after 2 years you found that your habit of brushing your teeth just after waking up from bed has gone. Why it is gone? Just because your environment has changed. Now your roommate are brushing teeth after taking bath, and slowly you got the new habit. Here you can argue that why both of them did not acquire my habit of brushing their teeth just after waking up, and why I acquired there. This is solely because you are less disciplined towards your habit. But this is not what author is trying to teach about your self-discipline, but how to get new habits which you think are good and delete the bad habits which you think are bad. So if you want to get back your habit, you should shift back to your home or choose better roommates or roommates who have the habits of brushing up their teeth exactly after waking up from the bed. Third point, make it attractive or make it easy. Energy is precious and brain is wired to conserve energy whatever and whenever possible. It's human nature to follow the law of lowest effort, which states that when deciding between two similar options, people will naturally gravitate towards the option that requires less amount of work. This is the reason why we are more inclined to just sit on the sofa and scroll Instagram rather than going to the gym, as going there requires more effort than scrolling Instagram feed. With this, I am not saying that our body is incapable of doing difficult things, and for sure it is capable of, but the problem is it always tries to conserve energy, as it is very important for our body. So what to do? Going to the gym is never going to be easy. Then just convince yourself that I would just go there to the gym for just 5 minutes. Though it may seem ridiculous, but just do it. By the course of time, just going there will be a habit, and after that you can increase the direction bit by bit from 5 minutes to 6 minutes, 6 minutes to 7 minutes, so on and so forth. If you want to read a book every month, start today by reading a page every day. If you want to do 100 push-ups every day, start today by 1 push-up every day. If you want to cook every day, start by making your own tea or coffee. This can be said as making a 2-minute rule. That is, whenever you make new habit, the habit initially should not take more than 2 minutes. As I have said earlier, examples, every habit is broken down into simpler 2-minute versions. That 2-minute versions must be the gateway for an habit. For an example, I want to study. My 2-minute habit would be just opening my notes. I want to run. My 2 minutes habit will be just tying up my shoes. Next part, make it difficult. To make you understand this, let me tell you a story. It is about Victor Hugo, the author of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. While writing this book, he got a deadline of 12 months, but Hugo got himself immersed in the entertaining of guests, going to different parties and delaying his work. After 6 months, when the publisher found that the work has not yet started, he became furious and reduced the deadline by 3 months. So Hugo thought of an amazing plan to beat his procrastination. He ordered his assistant to take away all of the clothes from his closet and lock it somewhere else. And now he was left with a single cell. In the winter, without any clothes, he had no option to go out, so he is forced to stay inside and to study and started writing the book. And he completed it and published the book by the 14th January, 45 days earlier than the deadline. This is how to prevent bad habit, that is, make it so difficult to perform as Hugo did it. Suppose you are habituated to check your phone as soon as you get up. Then tell your mother to hide it somewhere in some room and not to give you back till the lunch. If this should happen constantly for every day for an entire month, then after a month, if the phone is exact next to you, you are not supposed to check it as soon as you get up. Next one, make it satisfying. Here I am going to tell you about the reason why it takes long time to get a new good habit and less time to get a new bad habit. This is because bad habits are instant satisfying. For an example, sitting in front of TV and watching and going to the gym are two different cases. First one is the bad one, second one is the good one. But when you choose to just sit and watch TV, it gives you relief. Your energy is conserved, you feel good. But in case of going to the gym, it takes money, energy, and it seems less interesting. Hence, the first one gives more pleasure, and the reward for the work comes exactly after the work is done. Second one gives less pleasure, as the reward is supposed to come after 3 or 4 months. What if we could make the reward earlier for going to the gym? If we could do so, then going to the gym would seem me equivalent pleasurable as watching TV. Now just understand it with an example of Dr. S.C. Burma. He was not very studious from his childhood, as for him studying was not pleasurable as playing and doing other silly things. So his mother did something extraordinary. She prepared his most favorite sweets and told him that if he would sit there in the room for 1 hour, it's totally his choice to do whatever there. But he should be sitting there, not leaving the room. For constantly 1 hour he would get a sweet. And he did so. After half an hour, he thought how long I would be staring to the same walls and same doors. And also he needs sweets, so he can't leave the room. To get out of his boringness, he decided to read books and soon started liking reading books. And this process goes on now. He is probably the best physics teacher in India who was awarded Padma Shri, the 4th highest civilian award in India. Similarly, create your own immediate rewards for each of the good habit you want. Last point, make it unsatisfying. It is exactly opposite to the previous one. There, the motive was to give yourself an immediate reward as soon as you complete the habit. Here, the motive is to give yourself an immediate punishment as soon as you commit some wrong habit. That is, I have made an agreement with my editor that I am supposed to give him a book review on or before 15th or every month. If I fail, I would have to pay him $5 per day. This is not just mere commitment but an court agreement such that he can claim his money if I fail. Now, due to the fear of punishment, I am not supposed to fail. Similarly, you can set your own punishment as per your choice. At last, all the things I have shared with you are less than 1% of the book. It's less than a review, but you can told it a brief view. But I would recommend you to not just sit idle after seeing this review. If you like it, you should get that book and read yourself and improve yourself to reach your zenith.